Brilliance Audio presents In the Darkness by Omer, performed by Brittany Presley. A measure of sand trickled into the grave as he hoisted himself out. The tiny grains hissed, sprinkling onto the lid of the box, dirtying it. For a moment, he was irritated. He wanted it to be clean as he observed it from above. He smiled to himself as he realized the absurdity. He was about to bury the box under a few tons of soil. What did it matter if a bit of sand littered it? He took a moment to think of the other participant in this experiment. She might have heard the sand scattering above her. It was possible she even understood the implication. His heart pounded excitedly as he imagined it. The sound amplified in the small space, accompanied by the absolute darkness within. He picked up the shovel, jamming it into the mound of dirt, and then paused. Stupid. So stupid. He'd been so excited by the actual act that he'd forgotten the important part. He laid the shovel aside and turned to his laptop. He hooked it to the external battery charger, making sure the charger worked. Didn't want the battery to run out halfway through the experiment. The loud sound of a truck's engine behind him made him tense up, and he gritted his teeth. He had chosen this spot with a lot of care, making sure that it was hidden from view by a wall of cacti, trees, and shrubs. The road was hardly used, but the occasional vehicle still drove by. The distractions grated on him. This was a great occasion. It deserved his entire focus. He activated the video feed and scrutinized the screen. The angle seemed a bit too high. He went over to the camera, adjusted the tripod's height, and then checked it again. Perfect. He hesitated for a second, the pivotal moment nearly robbing him of his breath. Then he clicked, starting the broadcast. He picked the shovel up again and dumped the first batch of sand and gravel onto the box. The camera lens watched him, and he forced himself to ignore it. "Smile for the camera," he could hear his mother's voice say. She never gave up on trying to pose him for the family photo album when he was a young boy. When he hefted the fourth batch, the muffled thumping began. The truck's growling had probably woken the young woman, and now she was banging on the lid, trying to push it open, screaming. The craving took hold of him, and he nearly dropped the shovel as a sudden wave of heat flashed through his body. Focus. There would be plenty of time for that later. After 5 minutes, the lid was gone from view, though he could still hear the thumping and screaming if he tried hard. Was anyone watching the feed already? Probably. That was the whole point, after all. What were they thinking? Did they stare, waiting for the punchline, assume this was a practical joke? Or were they even now calling the police, trying to explain what they had seen? His mind and body were consumed by raw excitement, the moment cathartic. He couldn't concentrate, couldn't remember the details of the plan. He had to stop just for a moment, had to let off some steam. He thrust the shovel into the ground and hurried to his van, taking the laptop with him. Once he was done, he cleaned up, put the gloves back on, and got out of the van to resume digging. He hoped his viewers hadn't missed him too much. He'd heard somewhere that the average attention span of an online video clip viewer was 37 seconds. He competed with videos of drunk cats, movie trailers, and porn. He had to be fast. That was why he'd prepared the bins. He went over to the rightmost large bin and tipped it into the grave, watching with fascination as the soil poured inside in clumps. He emptied the bin completely, using the shovel to scrape the caked earth in the bottom. Then he went to each bin in turn and repeated the action, captivated by the view of the hole filling up, disappearing. Once he was done, he shoveled a bit more dirt over the grave to cover it completely. The shouts and thumps were gone now, silenced by the blanket of earth. Nevertheless, the audience at home could still hear it easily. He had made sure of that. He took a moment to appreciate his handiwork. The ground was almost uniform. They wouldn't find this location in a hurry. He stretched, giving his aching back a rest, and glanced at the lens. Smile for the camera. And though he knew it couldn't catch his face, he did.